Yes, guys, welcome to a brand new presentation. My name is Conan, and today we're going to be talking about the best supplement that you could take during a fat loss phase. Now, before we get into it, guys, I am not a huge proponent on supplements in general. Like, I don't preach them all the time. I always tell you guys, hey, just focus on the basics first. So, when it comes to fat loss, the only thing you really have to worry about is being in a calorie deficit. And you do that by both either burning more calories or eating less calories than you burn, or doing like a combination of both. That is in essence how you burn body fat, right? And of course, make sure that your exercise routine is on point, that you're getting enough sleep in, that your stress levels are being reduced or at least being managed to some extent, right? Like if you just focus on the basics, there's not a single supplement on the market that could compensate for that, right? But now with that said though, if you do have the basics set in place and you've really like honed them in and you like are on top of your diet, you're on top of your cardio, your workouts, your stress levels, and your sleep, then there are a couple of things that you can take to pretty much enhance or make it easier to kind of like go about this weight loss journey. Because typically speaking, guys, during a fat loss phase, quite simply put, because you're eating less calories than you burn, a pretty common response your body will have to that is simply feeling hungrier, right? Like your body will naturally start to feel hungrier simply by you eating less calories than you burn. And so, specifically speaking, when it comes to reducing your appetite, there are a couple of things that you can actually do within your diets to kind of reduce that. So I'm a huge, I'm huge on this. Focus on eating low calorie dense foods. And now, what are those? You may ask. Those are foods low in calories but high in volume. Basically, these are just honestly single ingredient foods that have minimal processed kind of like ingredients to them. So think of like your single ingredient foods. So think of like your fruits, your vegetables, your whole grains, and your lean sources of protein. If you focus on those foods mainly on your diet during a fat loss phase, like hunger really should not be a big issue for you, right? So really making sure that you choose your food choices wisely will make a huge difference in your hunger, right? So think of foods high in fiber, including your fruits and your vegetables, right? Try not to drink your calories either. So focus on drinking a lot of water. And if you insist on maybe having something sweeter, opt for like a 0 calorie alternative. So don't have like an actual sugary soda. Go for like a diet soda, right? Like you really don't want to be drinking your calories because they're pretty much like empty calories, meaning that they have calories in them, but they don't really fill you up in general, right? So make sure that you're eating low calorie dense foods and then also that you're not drinking your calories. And now one amazing, I won't really call this a supplement, but I mean, it is technically speaking, it is a drug, but it is legal. And you can get it over the counter. That can kind of like help to pretty much reduce your appetite. And it can also be used strategically during a fat loss phase. And that is, as you guys can see, on the screen, caffeine. So I'm currently sipping on some caffeine right now. Got some coffee here. And this is actually a great kind of like tool in the toolbox to kind of help you on my fat loss phase. And there's a couple reasons for that. So number one, and this is probably the most important one, is that it'll curb your hunger. So caffeine can actually reduce your appetite by influencing hormones that make you feel full and satisfied. So it pretty much suppresses your appetite, which is phenomenal. And really quickly, guys, when it comes to caffeine, there's a lot of different sources that you can get it from. You can either get it from your coffee, like I'm drinking right now. You can get it from tea. You can get it from like a pre-workout drink, right? That you can get from any supplement store. You can get it from like an energy drink that you can also get at like the gas station, like a Monster drink or a Red Bull or a Rain energy drink or a Bang. There's so many different energy drinks nowadays, but again, make sure that you're getting the 0 calorie alternative, which in my personal opinion, they taste just the same, if not better than the actual sugary one. Same thing with your coffee and tea. Like try not to add sugars or creamers or whatever else people add to their coffee nowadays. I know at Starbucks, they probably get like the Frappuccino, mocha, blah, 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 whatever. I mean, I don't even know if it's still considered coffee if you add a bunch of cream and whipped cream and like all this just added stuff to it. In my personal opinion, I just enjoy the taste of black coffee, so I really don't mind drinking it. Now, I'm not against adding sugars or creams to your teas or coffees, but just know that it will add calories to it. And so just make sure that you keep track of it, because I see so many people make the mistake of saying that, oh, I'm drinking coffee now. Awesome. But it's like, okay, well, are you adding creams and sugars to it? It's like, well, yeah, I am. It's like, okay, well, are you keeping track of it? It's like, oh, well, no. It's like, well, okay, well, if you're not losing weight and you're not accounting for the added calories that are in your coffees and creams, you should probably do that, right? Because they still have calories, they still count, right? So just make sure you do that. But yeah, that's the first thing. It'll curb your hunger, which is amazing. And on top of that, it also boosts your energy. So it gives you a nice little jolt of energy to power through your workouts, or even like kind of like get you going in the morning when you go to work, when you have to like do something like mentally really difficult. It can definitely give you energy, and also kind of like sharpens your focus as well, which I'll kind of touch on a bit later on. So those two things in general are amazing. Suppress your appetite. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that with my fingers. Suppress your appetite, and then also boost your energy, right? And the third thing here is also enhances your exercise performance. So obviously, because it boosts your energy, caffeine can also help you push harder during your workouts, which ultimately could lead you to potentially burning more calories and better for fat loss results, right? And one of the things that in most fat burners, actually, the main ingredient in most fat burners is actually caffeine, which is actually quite funny. They literally just change the name of caffeine and just slap the name fat burner on it, and they make it sound super extreme. They make the label look super shiny, super cool and stuff, but in essence, like, the main ingredient in most fat burners is simply just caffeine, right? So caffeine in general is a great fat burner, right? Because it suppresses your appetite, which is great, makes you eat less food in general. It boosts your energy, which can therefore actually help you push a bit harder into workouts, which could therefore help you actually burn more calories. And so yeah, if you guys are in the market for looking for a fat burner, look no further than your cup of coffee, right? Because it's a lot cheaper. In my opinion, it's a lot tastier, and you just don't have to get, like, you don't have to like fall for all these marketing gimmicks, right? And then the last thing here is, like I touched on, is it sharpens your focus. So it keeps your mind alert and focused, which can help you, or which can be helpful for sticking to your diet and exercise routine. So I just kind of listed a couple of amazing benefits of caffeine, but unfortunately there are a couple downsides to that, right? And I want to make sure that you guys are fully aware of these downsides, because yeah, it is a drug, like I mentioned, and if you abuse it, it could definitely give you the opposite effects, which is not what we want, right? So I want you guys just to remember that moderation is key to avoid any side effects like jitters and also trouble sleeping. So try to have the caffeine no later than noon, so 12 p.m. And the reason for that is because the half-life of caffeine is 6 hours and the quarter life is 12 hours. So let me run you through a quick little example here. If you consume 500 milligrams of caffeine at noon, which is a lot, so please don't do that. That's literally like 3 energy drinks. I think that's like 4 or 5 cups of coffee, so that's a lot. So I assume you guys wouldn't typically do that, but if you do, kind of using the example here, you'd still have around 250 milligrams of caffeine in your system at 6 p.m. and 125 milligrams of caffeine at midnight, right? So 12 a.m., like at night, basically. So be careful, use it to your advantage, but please do not abuse it, because like I mentioned to you guys, sleep is so important, also when it comes to like fat loss in general, because basically when we are sleep deprived, 2 critical appetite hormones in your body also go into opposite bad directions. So ghrelin, which signals to your body that you're constantly hungry and it's like you're hungry, right, actually goes up, and leptin, which signals to your body that you're nice and satisfied, actually goes down. So you'll notice that you're going to be a lot more hungrier and a lot less satisfied after eating when you are sleep deprived, which is not what you want, right? So you guys can tell that if you abuse caffeine, it can actually like give you the opposite effect of reducing your appetite. So just be mindful of that. But if you just have it in moderation, maybe 1 cup of coffee a day, or maybe 1 energy drink per day, or maybe like 1 scoop of protein powder before you work out a day, that is totally fine. It only becomes an issue once you start to rely on it. So if you notice that, okay, in order for me to have a good workout, or in order for me to go to work, or in order for me to actually function as a normal human being, I need to have my caffeine, then it becomes an issue, because you definitely don't want to find yourself in a situation where you are kind of like relying on caffeine. Like, you want to use it, again, like I mentioned to you guys, it's another tool in a toolbox. So don't abuse it, don't rely on it, have it in, I would say, like special occasions when it's like, okay, I'm kind of like tired right now, caffeine will definitely help right now, or I'm kind of hungry right now, caffeine will really help right now, right? So use it like as needed and don't just use it for the sake of using it. So that's all that I have for you guys for this quick little presentation. Hopefully you guys took something out of it, and hopefully now you guys really understand the power of caffeine. But like I mentioned to you guys, when it comes to fat loss, the main thing you should really be concerned about is calories, right? Making sure that you're in a calorie deficit, eating less calories than you burn. Caffeine on its own doesn't make you do that. It can definitely help you do that by reducing your appetite, but it doesn't in itself make you lose body fat, right? Like you gotta make sure that you're still focusing on the basics, and then caffeine can be a nice little kind of like cherry on top to just make things a bit easier for you. So I'll let you guys go. Any questions for me, please let me know, and I'll see y'all soon. Peace.